How we doing, folks? Muster Slinger Sports coming at you again from Gerald Ford Stadium. Very cold Gerald Ford Stadium. James, we saw SMU just lose another tough one today. Lost every game this year. Today, fourth quarter. 5 seconds left. University of South Florida's driving. Touchdown pass with 4 seconds left.
Yeah, touchdown pass to Andre Davis, who we talked about. I mean,
yes.
USF just basically came in here and stole the game from the SMU Mustangs. I mean, that last drive, I think, 15, 14 plays. I believe they converted on 2 or 3 third downs on that one
and
drive
a fourth down.
alone, and a fourth down that they converted on for the touchdown. I mean, we've talked about it. It just seems like it gets worse and worse. I mean, you got to think it's been 357 days since SMU's football's last win, which was against this USF team, that was in Florida last year at the 16-6 score we talked about in our pregame show.
SMU seemed to master losing this year. Coach Mason was talking about it in the post-game interview, just talking about, the football gods aren't with them. Well, there's a lot of things not with this football team right now.
Yeah, and he talked about they needed to finish, and like I said, that's the one thing we've seen with this football team all year is, well, basically they haven't started to do anything, but they haven't finished. I mean, they didn't finish last 2 weeks ago in Tulsa, their last game, and they didn't finish here. And then Tom Mason, he was pretty hot about that last touchdown pass. We tried to talk to him about that, and we're told that he couldn't talk about that because of officiating rules and would be fined over it. So
trying to save him some money.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to know because it looked like he really did want to answer that question, and there was something he did have to say about that.
It did look like a little bit of a push-off too, by the way.
I mean, it could go either way.
It can. But I'm calling on these defensive guys. They need to start throwing the flag a little bit more on the offensive.
Yeah, but I just don't think at the end of the game where it was with the 4 seconds left on the clock, and that was the last play really to be run.
You don't let a flag determine the game.
I'm not going to let a flag determine the game.
I can understand that point.
That's right. Then we finished up with our conversation where we were talking about going back to the Big 12 race. TCU ended up pulling a 4-point win out over Kansas.
Should have been more than that.
Yeah,
not very impressive win at all by TCU.
No, especially when you see Baylor put up 60 points on him and only gave up 14 points to him. If TCU stays in the top 4 this week in
be very shocking, especially since Alabama beating Mississippi State. You've got to think Alabama's going to leapfrog TCU now. Well,
yeah, and then with the time we came out here to shoot this too, also Arizona State was losing. But I mean, I don't think TCU deserves to be there. That's just my personal opinion.
Or just not in front of Baylor. I think that's just obvious.
No, it is. Let's see here. Next week on the 22nd, we've got OSU at Baylor. What are you looking forward to in that game?
Well, Oklahoma State, they lost today to Texas 28-7. They haven't really looked good at all this year. Besides, their first game in here at Florida State, they hung in there with them. But other than that, they haven't showed anything. So I look for Baylor winning by 3 or 4 touchdowns if I was going to bet on the game.
So you think those Sooners could pull out a win at Bedlam? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, they should. Save for this football season. Save me some hair on my head also. Yeah,
I feel like I've lost half my hair this season too, but we all know that's not true. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I think that about wraps it up, folks. Y'all have a good one.
All right.